Happy New Year's Day to you. New year, new you, time for those resolutions. So if reading more is on your list of ways to better yourself this year, then you may want to join a book club. How about mine? If you do, let me give you a little look back at what we read in 2020 in case you want to catch up. We started the year with Long Bright River by Liz Moore. It feels forever ago. We actually met in person to talk about this. A dramatic suspense novel set in Philadelphia. It's a tale of two sisters who suffered a lot of childhood trauma and end up on opposite sides of the law. Highly recommend. That was a heavy one, so we lighten things up next with Taylor Jenkins Reid's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's a fantastic story of an Elizabeth Taylor type movie star who is recounting her life story, and it is scandalous. Seven husbands and all. Our book club totally loved it. Months into the pandemic, How Not to Die Alone by Richard Roeper felt a little too mopey for most of our readers as we were stuck at home. It's a darkly comedic story of a lonely Brit whose job involves the deaths of other lonely people. You can see why I thought it was perfect for 2020, but it might have been a little much. Oh, we lightened it up with Emily Henry's Beach Read, which felt like a getaway, a charming story of two writers who've had a long-standing rivalry. And when they challenge each other to switch genres, they learn a lot about each other and themselves and fall in love. It was a really good summer escape when none of us could actually travel to the beach. Then was Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale, overwhelmingly the book club's favorite selection of the year. The World War II tale of two French sisters highlights the role women played in the resistance. It is moving, it is unforgettable, and there is a film version set for release in December starring the Fanning sisters. This was an incredible book. That was a really tough one to follow when you love something so much. We were crying talking about it. So we switched up genres completely and went with Then She Was Gone, a suspense story by Lisa Jewell, who is very good at this, about a mother whose daughter was abducted years ago. Finally, another great one to end the year, The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. Historical fiction set in Depression-era Kentucky about a group of women who delivered books on horseback. It's a fascinating little picture into time, and the characters were remarkable, and overwhelmingly everyone really enjoyed this book. So that is another one we can highly recommend. But now on to a new year and a new book. What we will be reading first up was voted the #2 favorite work of fiction released last year on Goodreads, Anxious People by Frederick Blackman. So here's what Michelle Malonzo, the book buyer of Changing Hands, who reads absolutely everything, has to say about it.
It is the perfect book to start off the new year. It takes place during a bank robbery with a ramshackle group of people who make the worst of hostages. They are not who they seem. They're really struggling with what has happened in their life up to this point. It is reflective and sad, but also extremely funny.
Bob in for the win because I'm trying to get closer to this screen to show you. So I'm really excited about this selection, and people really seem to like it, as you heard from Michelle. Want to remind you, if you go to Easy Family, you go to the Good Morning Arizona tab, and then you'll see the drop down for book club, and you can go through all of the books that we read over the past year and the year before, because this is going to start year #3. Also want to remind you, we'll have a write-up on these later on today posted to the website. You can join the Facebook group from the book club page. And if you are shopping local, which we always recommend, you can go to Changing Hands, mention Olivia's book club, and you can buy this new book, Anxious People, at a discount. Javier, are you in?
You got some pull there. Just mention my name. You know,